What is up, guys? Welcome to your second C++ tutorial, and today I am going to be talking about variables. Now, what variables basically are is like they're kind of like, imagine them as like in math when you would do x equals 2. The variable x holds the value of 2. Now in programming it's really similar. For example, if I wanted to mimic that, I would type in, for an integer, int x equals 2. Now the variable x here holds the integer value of 2, and all that int is right here is really just, I'm just telling the computer, hey, I'm going to create an integer variable, so whatever I say after a space is going to be the name of the variable, and then I set it equal to whatever value I want. So now basically let's set it back to 2 and make sure you put a semicolon after every line. You guys already know that from my last video. Make sure to check that out if you haven't already. Alright, so now how do I know that integer x is equal to 2? Well, we can print this out onto the console just like how last time we printed out hello world into the console. So I do cout, make sure the arrows are towards the cout. So put the quotation marks. Let's put the value of x is, and let's put a space there. Put another arrows, and here's where we're gonna be writing the name of the variable. So we type in x here, and then colon, semicolon, and make sure we always build our solution before we run it. Then debug, start without debugging right here, or you can press Control F5. And there we go. Onto the console screen, we got the value of x is 2. Now basically in C++, integer is not the only value, of course. There's other values such as a string, which can hold a word, like a full-on word, or even like a sentence, like I am a string, and then put a happy face. And then when you make that declaration, make sure you put a semicolon, print, and then hold on, I got an error here. Oh yeah, I forgot to name it. Like, I can name my string. Let's give our string a name. Let's give it happy string. And if we cout this, happy string, just like that, semicolon, build, debug, and there we go, I am a string. Now remember from my last video, if I want to start on a new line, then I basically go here, put another arrows, and put end L, which stands for end line. And then if I build it again and start without debugging, the value of x is 2, I am a string. Okay, so now string, we know strings, integers, and now what if we want a decimal? Well, that's called a double I am a or I'm a decimal. Let's call it I'm a decimal equals, let's say we want it to be 6.4 or whatever. Okie dokie. So now we cout I'm a decimal, semicolon, and if we remember that last time we printed them out connected to each other, so we want the end line to be here. so that it just looks nicer, so it's not all bunched up into one. Or actually, we want the C out here, my bad. Sorry if I confused you guys. I meant every time you put end L in the C out. Okie dokie. Now build, start without debugging, and there you go. Now we know string, integer, and double. There's one more that I want to go over with you guys, and it's kind of really similar to a string. I'm actually going to be going more into detail about it and how it connects to a string. It's called a character value, and you type it just like that, char, and then let's name it character equals now the difference with this in a string, every time you declare it, it's actually something you really should like pay attention to. You type in, instead of a double semicolon, or I don't know what these are called, you type in the single ones like that, and then let's put D semicolon. Now cout, let's write something before so we know it's the character. I am the character semicolon space, and then let's go back to our last cout and put nl so it looks nicer and it starts on a new line. Build and start without debugging. Oh, now I got an error here, and that's actually because I did something really silly. I forgot to do this. Okay, that's good now. Now start build and then start without debugging. Okay, now we got the value of x is 2, I am a string 6.4 as our double, and I am the character D. So that's it for this tutorial, guys, and I'm going to be going into more detail about this and how this is actually useful instead of actually just typing it all out. Like, instead of typing it like this, cout, the value of x is 2. Instead of doing this, like, why didn't we just do this? That's what I'm going to be going over in the next tutorial. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that, and peace.